This is Seeing Red, now in our 15th season of bringing you the best in independent Red Bulls news and opinion. Now, here are your hosts, Mark Fishkin and Joe Goldstein.
You know, the Red Bulls lost MLS Cup after a late scratch by now traded Andres Reyes. Left New York down 2 goals inside of 15 minutes, and that's not good. Sean Nealis made it interesting, and the Red Bulls kept it close, but in the end, New York came up a goal short, which closed the postseason run on a down, but maybe not a sour note. So much has happened since the December 7th MLS Cup final that your head may be spinning. And tonight on Seeing Red, we're going to dig into everything that's happened since the final whistle in Carson on December 7th. The roster, the stadium, which has a new name, the schedule, preseason, everything. And joining me today is my friend Gustavo Guimaraes for tonight's last Seeing Red of 2024. How are you, Gustavo?
Very good, Mark. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's really nuts what's happened with this team since December 7th. We encourage you, however, before we do anything, the liking, the subscribing, so important. We got such a wonderful boost in subscribers around our MLS Cup preview, and to get you off on the shortest preseason, the shortest off season in pro sports, we'd like you to subscribe to us as well. All right, so New York has had a whole lot of strange events happen to it, from the Metro Stars to the Red Bulls. Andres Reyes warms up with the team. He then comes off of the warm-up and tells Coach Schwartz that he can't go. Noah Isla, who had not warmed up with the squad, gets thrown on literally minutes to play, minutes before the game starts, and LA takes advantage. We're not really going to dig into the game. It's just a very, very strange chapter in this team's 29, now 30-year quest to win MLS Cup. Would it have been any different if Reyes started the game? I'd like to think it would have, but that's not what happened. Just an unfortunate situation. Reyes has said he would never purposefully tank an appearance in such a big game. There was a rumor going on that he was aware that he was about to be dealt to San Diego. I guarantee you that is not the case. Gustavo, what are your thoughts on Reyes just kind of saying in the biggest game of the year, no, I can't go, dog?
It's the only, it's the second time I've seen something like this happen, right? The one before was back in 1998 when Brazil lost the World Cup final in France against the French. And at that time, the original Ronaldo, he was in the lineup, and then he felt something and he dealt with something. He couldn't go on. And so that brought me back to those years. So strange, very unfortunate, because Reyes was really hot during the postseason, during the playoffs. And it's just one of those things, there's no explanation to it.
Yeah, I mean, as someone that was in Carson, the sun was incredibly strong. And for the Red Bull supporters that were under the overhang of the second deck until late into the second half, I mean, we were feeling actually somewhat sympathetic toward the Galaxy supporters who were just open in the bright sun for the entire day. And whether it was some sort of a heat stroke, or whether it was some sort of a panic attack, or whether it was whatever it was, New York actually did pretty well against a very, very strong Galaxy side. Sean Nealis becomes the second player in club history to score a goal in MLS Cup off a corner kick scramble, which is how New York scored so many goals during the playoff run. Emil Forsberg hits the post. Elias Manoel gets completely jacked up in the box during injury time. I mean, absolutely run over with no call. It was really close. The LA Galaxy were a deserving champion in 2024. And again, it doesn't take away from the unbelievable ride that the Red Bulls went on, and it doesn't take away from the way that the Red Bulls front office stood up for their supporters. Every Red Bulls season ticket holder or supporter, full season ticket holder supporter that could get to Carson had a free ticket to the game. Amazing. The team put on a fantastic pregame tailgate party with T-shirts for everyone in attendance. They were travel vouchers for members of the Supporters Club making the trip, flying across country on 6 days' notice to support the team. It was a marvelous day out, other than the result. By and large, the LA Galaxy fans and supporters were okay. They were the incessant playing of they're not like us after the game hurt a little bit, not gonna lie, but a great time out for Red Bulls fans. All right, so let's get into post-season mode as the Red Bulls entered postseason, the latest you possibly can after MLS Cup. Jochen Schneider said that the team will invest more experienced players in 2025, and they've already done that. We're going to get into it. He said it was a good season. It was the foundation for future success. We will win trophies, he said, with this team. Whether you count the Eastern Conference Championship as a trophy, I don't know, but it is a trophy. It's in the trophy case. Corey Burke, to the surprise of no one, and young defender Aiden O'Connor had their contracts declined, their options declined. Any misgivings there, sir?
No, not at all. It is what it is.
The Red Bulls signed 2 young players from the academy in the 2 team. Omar Valencia, who had made a first-team debut on a call-up from Red Bulls 2. He's been there for 2 seasons, 7 call-ups to the first team, played against the Revs. He's signed through 2027. He's a defender. And then they activated the 2025 option on Carlos Coronel. I think there was half a notion that he may not be back, but he certainly will be back and in the net for New York for another year, the Paraguayan national team keeper. So I think everyone's excited about that. And then New York went out and signed Adri Mehmeti, a 15-year-old Staten Island native out of the academy. He was a member of the Red Bulls U15 team that won that MLS Next national title in 2023. By all accounts, I mean, he may be the next coming of Tyler Adams, the way people are talking about him. And I know a lot of folks are very, very excited about him. Most likely will be starting in Montclair for the time being, but nevertheless signed to a first-team deal. Which, during the presser, you had Jochen Schneider talking about the experience that he wanted to bring in, but at the same time signing more youth players to the program. So you have kind of this like U shape where you've got the core of Stroud and Edelman, right? Cam Harper, young players that are starting and making a difference on this team. Of course, John Tolkien, who's rumored to be going anywhere from Belgium to Germany, depending on the day. And then you have more experienced players being brought in a manner that we frankly haven't seen in the Red Bull energy drink soccer era, Gustavo. I mean, we'll get to the actual personnel, but what does it mean when you're bringing more 30-year-olds onto the program?
I think that's the right. Schneider is doing the right thing. You have to balance the roster. Obviously, you can't have only youth. You can't have only teenagers. You won't go anywhere without experience. But at the same time, it does concern me the form of these signings. How are they performing? How were they performing during their last clubs? And that concerns me a little bit. Other than that, that's the way to go.
We'll dig into those guys in a minute. The stadium that you used to call Red Bull Arena, and you've called it that since 2010 when it opened, is no longer called that. Sports Illustrated Tickets became the naming sponsor of Red Bull Arena in a 13-year deal, which is a very random number. Sportico reported that the deal is north of $100 million or over $7.5 million a year. Now, you may, listeners and viewers of a certain age may have grown up reading Sports Illustrated. I'm certainly one of them. You may or may not be aware that Sports Illustrated is a brand mark that's owned by a company that licenses the name to other businesses. So you may be aware that Sports Illustrated magazine underwent a tremendous amount of business challenge when it was shared that they were using AI to write some of the stories. As a magazine, it doesn't publish anymore, except for, I don't know if they put out a swimsuit issue in print anymore, but nevertheless, this is not the Sports Illustrated that many people, sports fans in America, grew up reading. Was owned by Time Inc. It no longer is. It's kind of a internet brand now, kind of trading off of the nostalgia of that Sports Illustrated name. But nevertheless, the company that bought the naming rights is Sports Illustrated Tickets. And I'm going to read for you part of the press release, and you can tell me what you think this means. Starting with 26, SI Tickets' primary blockchain event ticketing platform, Box Office, will power all the events at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Box Office is a complete end-to-end event management ticketing solution used by venues and events around the world. With its blockchain partner Ava Labs, SI Tickets will set a global precedent, making SI Stadium the first major venue where all events will be blockchain-based ticketing. This transformative technology will revolutionize the event experience. It's a ticket. Providing attendees with a secure, interactive, and efficient ticketing solution. Beyond seamless access, the Avalanche blockchain will elevate fan engagement by transforming event tickets into dynamic digital assets, offering perks, personalized content, and more, creating a truly next-generation event experience. The partnership between Sports Illustrated and Red Bull can unlock opportunities for both brands across multiple properties. I think what this means, Gustavo, is we're all going to get a special app to access tickets to the game, and your ticket stub could be highlights of the game that could live in your ticket wallet, or it could be interactive stats that live in your ticket wallet. Now, whether someone wants this, I don't know. I think it's up to them to figure out to make this interesting for ticket holders, but sure, I don't know. We're not supposed to say NFTs anymore, but that's what this is.
When I think about this, all that comes to my mind is, how much is the service fee?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know, because basically we have that. Do we need that? I don't know. But what it comes to my mind is how much we are going to pay for this, how much they're going to charge us. That's my main question.
Well, since the team is getting $7 million a year, if they are passing any addition, I mean, not that Ticketmaster is a dream, it is not. But if they're going to be increasing the service fee, like you said, to turn your ticket stub into Emil Forsberg waving hello to you in a hologram as you walk. I mean, people want this? I don't know. We're all going to find out. Nevertheless, it was a really big check. So the question is, are you going to call it Sports Illustrated Stadium? Are you going to call it the Psy? Are you going to call it the Sis? I guess if you're a Gotham fan, going to the Sis is kind of cool because they're going to be playing there. You can go to your Sis. Do you have any thoughts? Do you care? Are you still going to call it Red Bull Arena? How are you going to deal with this?
I tend to respect these deals. If the name now is Sports Illustrated Stadium, that's what I will call it.
Okay. All right. If you go to the Seeing Red store, and if you go to our page, you can find the link there. There might be something special for you in relation to this. So we'll encourage you to go do that. All right. After not being well enough to play an MLS Cup, the Red Bulls sent Andres Reyes to expansion San Diego FC for $600K in GAM in 2025 and $200K in GAM in 26 and a sell-on percentage. Now, usually when a player who has made such an impact, or even one that hasn't made much of an impact on the team, leaves, during the press release, Red Bull's front office make a lovely comment like, we thank Andres so much for his time with the Red Bulls, and we are looking forward to, where he develops further in his career, something like that. Yeah, that didn't happen. They didn't say anything. They just said Reyes out, basically, which tells me that you can't just not play an MLS Cup and hang around. And obviously Reyes continuing to mature in his game, scored the goal that got the Red Bulls to MLS Cup. sent away for a big chunk of change. What do you take away from this, sir?
I wouldn't trade him. First off, I think he's a top 5 center back in the league.
Oh, wow.
He needs to be. He needs to have his mind on the game. When he's focused, I think he's a very good center back. He can do the job, especially with the 3 backs line. Um, what bothers me in this case is they're getting 800, uh,
A lot of game.
a lot of game, right?
Yeah.
So I reached out to the club and, are you guys bringing any free agents within the league? What are you gonna do? Are you trading? Not at the moment. So why would you trade one of the best center backs in the league for this amount of money? Let's call it this way, fake money. If you're not gonna bring anyone, I just don't get it.
Well, it's an interesting point, and the moves that the Red Bulls have made since then. I mean, consider what you can do with GAM. You can pay down folks' salary charge with it, right? So, in essence, you can turn Dante Van Zier's DP contract into a non-DP contract, which then allows you to bring in more and better players. And one of the players that New York has brought in, of course, a big announcement last week is Cameroon international Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting to a DP contract through 26 with an option for 27. Okay. It has been known since Bradley Wright Phillips left New York that the team has really struggled to find a true forward that can put ball in the net constantly. Choupo-Moting is 35 years old. He's very, very experienced. He's been a pro since he was 18. He spent the last 4 years with Bayern. He scored 38 goals for them in 122 appearances, which is not an amazing strike rate. He won the Bundesliga 3 times. He won a German Cup. He won a FIFA World Club Cup. And before that, he played at PSG for 2 years, and he played at Stoke, and he played at Schalke. And he certainly scored goals. But like, for instance, at Schalke, 106 appearances, 22 goals. He spent 4 years at Mainz, which is going to be a common thread here with these players coming in. He scored 22 times in 81 appearances. So if a goal comes every 4 or 5 games, that makes him a 9 to 10 goal scorer for New York. Now, obviously, MLS is not the Bundesliga, but a 35-year-old forward is an interesting person to bring in. And our friend Jeff Reuter at the Athletic has put this together, this graphic about his last year playing for the Bundesliga, playing for Bayern. 26 total shots, 2 goals. This is how Choupo-Moting did for Bayern this past year while battling injuries. He underperformed his XG by 2.5 last year. And the only player that comes to mind when I think about players underperforming their XG is Dante Van Zier's most of the first 2/3 of the season for New York. So, I'm not. It's really going to have to be show us what you got. I mean, because this is not necessarily bringing in experience is probably not the player that Red Bull fans were hoping for.
Yes. In terms of marketing, great signing. Great signing. The guy has a name. He has experience. He played in the Bundesliga, Premier League, French League.
Yeah.
But when it comes to his goal scoring rate, then you may think they're bringing another Elias Manoel, because Elias has 40 matches and 9 goals. So that's basically the same rate.
Yeah.
And the difference is the age. But I don't know. It's complicated. He can come here and perform really well, or he can be another bust, a very expensive bust. Let's hope for the best in this case.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. But, I mean, he's a big guy. He's the kind of target forward that New York was hoping that, forgive me, Ashley Fletcher was going to be, right? I mean, he's physically, big guy. He can hold up the ball. in a way that certainly Van Zier is not that guy. And, perhaps if you've got a huge, big body in the box, it's going to open opportunities up for Van Zier in 2025.
We
Let's hope so.
we have an example within the league. Um, I forgot the name of the striker, the French guy that LAFC signed. He has
Giroud?
Giroud, 0
Yeah.
goals in the league.
Yeah.
Didn't score.
Right. 35 years old.
Same age. Yep.
Yeah.
Same background.
A somewhat younger German player with experience with Sandro Schwartz, Alexander Hack, was signed last week. He's 6'3". He's only 31. He's a center back. He was out of contract after he was getting a Saudi paycheck last year. He spent most of the last 10 years with Mainz, where, of course, he has experience being coached by Sandro Schwartz. There's no... It would be a shock to think that this is not, in essence, a like for like with Andres Reyes. Obviously, Reyes being much younger, I think had more upside. But again, he's 6'3". He's going to match up really nicely next to Sean Nealis, and he's going to come right in and make it go. I mean, he knows the way that that Schwartz wants to play, and they could do worse than an experienced 10-year Bundesliga center back. What do you think?
I think he brings a different quality compared to Ayla. I expect him to be more physical, kind of like Reyes, but in this case, it's just we have to trust Schwartz's appointment, and I hope that he really knows what he's doing. I trust him. He got my trust back after kind of losing during mid-season, but now I completely trust him. If he brought this guy, I tend to expect the best out of it.
Fair enough. And then lastly, in terms of the big moves, and there's so many moves, our friend Elias Manoel got traded to RSL, in addition to all of New York's 2025 and one 2026 draft pick. And of course, when you have an academy as strong as New York's, the idea of having college draft picks, I think, is just not something that New York has a lot of value for. New York also gets $700K in GAM spread over 25 and 26 seasons. Manuel, the bottom line, after 2.5 years, he played 67 times. He scored 13 goals and 10 assists. His best game for the Red Bulls, without a doubt, was the 2013 first-round playoff game at Red Bull Arena against Charlotte, where the Brazilian scored the first playoff hat trick in New York history and the 6th all time. And Gustavo, I know you had a relationship with Elias. What was your thought with his departure?
Surprised, completely surprised. He caught me off guard. I truly didn't expect this trade because he told me many times he expected to, when it came to transfer, he expected to go to Europe. But let's be honest. Did he show on the field what it takes to go to Europe? I don't think so. So then it's reasonable to go to a different spot in the league. It's in this case, I feel a bit, I would say, sad because he became kind of friend of mine.
Yeah.
We had a relationship, and what I'm not going to miss is his really bad taste when it comes to Brazilian music, because sometimes I went to the practice and he picked some bad songs over there. So I'm not going to miss those days.
All right. Elias, thank you for your service, as they said. Elias got, I think, a nice message from the team. I wanted to share with you the state of the lineup. Our friend Ben Wright over at Speedway Soccer did an incredible job of putting together these lists for all MLS teams. But this is currently where the Red Bulls find themselves, and the grade of green, the more green, the better the player, at least in Ben Wright's estimation. And so, the red players are maybe a little bit laggy, but again, New York is going to be playing. The strengths are going to be Forsberg and Lewis Morgan, who let's hope he comes back super healthy next year and ready to go and giving his hip a rest. But this is certainly a playoff roster for sure. If Choupo-Moting can come and score 15 goals, which of course is the joke because we know that Reyes Van Zier wanted to come in and score 15 goals. But nevertheless, when you finish 7th and you get all the way to MLS Cup, you come up short. The team has made improvements. Whether it's been improvements across the board remains to be seen. They've brought in some youth. They've brought in some experience. And I think by and large, this is a team that is heading into the offseason knowing where it is, right? They have their players in place. It's not going to be a situation where they're going to have Choupo-Moting and Alexander Hack waiting until mid-April to get their visas to come to New York, which has been such a bugaboo, right? This team, they're already working on it. They already know that these players are going to have to be together. And I believe the preseason starts like January 17th. So they've got plenty of time to get their working gear.
And I think it's a very decent starting 11. They can build a very decent starting 11. The thing that gets me concerned is the backup. I don't think it's up to par with the starting lineup, and that's what they have to focus on it.
Well, we know obviously that the team significantly underperformed without Forsberg, and I don't know if it's realistic to expect some sort of younger, cheaper, up-and-coming version of Emil Forsberg just in case things go south. I don't know how you can replace your top player, but they're going to have to keep him in bubble wrap next year. And, for my money, as he continues to age, he should say no thanks to those Sweden call-ups, right?
Absolutely. And not only him, not only Forsberg. I think Carvalho was much missed during the MLS Cup too. He was becoming really important to the team. He scored 2 game winners. Not two, only one. Against
he scored 2 goals, 2 big goals.
He scored 2 goals. Yes. I think he was dearly missed during the final MLS Cup. And I like what I see from him so far.
There is a rumor that he is going to go back. There is a rumor on Spanish language Instagram that has him ready to return to South America, go back and play for Nacional. And he is on loan through the summer, through July 1. So that remains to be seen, and we should be certainly watching that. But I agree, Carballo's absence during MLS Cup not to be missed, considering the way that LA scored both their goals. All right, preseason is going to be upon us soon. We're going to take a couple of weeks off before we start season 16 of Seeing Red. Nevertheless, the Red Bulls will be playing once again in the Coachella Valley Invitational. In 2025, they have 3 games, February 8th against San Jose, February 12th against RSL and Elias Manoel, and February 15th against San Diego and Andres Reyes. So that will be interesting. Only one of those 3 teams, San Jose, will face New York in the regular season. And then the season gets going on February 22nd in Cincinnati at night. Woof. That is not going to be fun. A week later, the Red Bulls will play at Sports Illustrated Stadium for the first time when they host Nashville, also at night. But the team does have a number of afternoon kickoffs in 2025, especially in the first few months of the season. And I think that is a positive thing for MLS fans, all in all, that there are going to be a few more windows where fans are going to be able to watch games. The game against Orlando at home is at 2:30. At the Revs at 2:30, home at Orlando at 4:30, and home for Montreal on April 26th at 4:30, which is nice. They also have 7 matches in May. It's the busiest month of the year for MLS, including a 3-game road trip. Their only 3-game road trip of the year. They go to Nashville on the 14th of May. They go to New York City. Yes, it's a road game on the 17th on Wednesday, and then Nashville's the Wednesday. And then a week later, they're at DCU on May 24th, which is Memorial Day weekend. They will play the LA Galaxy for the first time in the regular season since 2021, when the Galaxy visits Harrison on May 10th. In July and August, they have 5 of 7 matches at home against teams like the Revs and Inter Miami and RSL and Philadelphia and Columbus. That's going to be a real key stretch for them to pack those points away. They only have 2 home games after Labor Day. September 27th, home for the Hudson Derby, and then October 4th against FCC, and then decision day is the 18th of October at Columbus. There are 2 games for my money that are weeknight away matches that really should be on weekends. I really was hoping to get to Nashville this year. I'm not going on a Wednesday in May. And then they're playing in Toronto in June, which usually is phenomenal. You turn that into a lovely weekend. No, it's on a Wednesday. Here's the Western opponents they play. They have the Galaxy at home. They're at Austin this year. They have the Loons at home. They're at San Jose on July 4th weekend. They're home for RSL, and they're at Portland. They haven't played at Portland in a hot minute. So that means here are the Western teams they will not be playing. Colorado, FC Dallas, Houston Dynamo, LAFC, San Diego, Seattle, St. Louis, Sporting KC, and Vancouver are not among the opponents. And again, when you're only down to 6 non-conference opponents, does the Shield mean anything? Only if we win it. All right.
Yes, and I don't remember when was the last time we faced Seattle at this new Sports Illustrated Stadium. I honestly don't remember. I was expecting to see them here, but no, not the upcoming season again.
No, very, very strange. When we are back at Seeing Red, we're going to answer some emails, and then we're going to send you on your way. So please keep it here, won't you? Thank you very much. I do love that music. As you can imagine, when your team plays an MLS Cup, you have a singularly terrific mailbag. And again, apologies ahead of time for not being able to read all of these, but we've got things to do here. You can write us over the off season. You can tell us what you think. You can tell us what you think of the show. You can do so many things with an email address these days. So write us at seeingredny@gmail.com. Here's Max Gregory. This is long. Mark and Joe. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. I can go on forever. Now, I have had a moment to decompress. Let me say, what a weekend. What a playoff run. I don't have a specific question, just a shared experience with an amazing group of people. I know your season wrap-up and inbox will be full of analysis about what happened on the field Saturday, while I still have my own opinions about what went wrong. I wanted to share that Saturday was still a major highlight in my Metro Red Bull supporting history, and a day I will cherish forever. I want that elusive cup as much as anyone, but sometimes soccer is just bigger than the on-field result. As a 96er, I have had the promise of glory shot down so many times. I continue to take solace in the friends and family that make up the Red Bulls community. In case anyone needs reminding, players, managers, and owners may change, but we are the constant. This is our club, and never was that more apparent in this season's playoff run. Being fortunate enough to be able to make the trip with my 14-year-old is something I will always remember. I repeatedly reminded him not to take this for granted and enjoy every moment, because if it takes us this long to get here again, he will be 30 the next time it happens. Hopefully he took that on board, because the away day was an amazing experience, and the new people I met over the weekend made me closer to this club than I've ever been. The generosity of the front office helping our season ticket holders and supporter group members get there is something I never expected, and above and beyond the lengths that most organizations would do. Next season, the lineup will have changes, and there will be future struggles, which will come with the inevitable complaints about a host of different grievances. So let's take a moment and enjoy the unexpected success we achieved. I'll always value our supporter shields, but this has to go down as one of the most successful seasons in our history, not only getting back to MLS Cup, but winning the Eastern Conference for the first time and going on our longest ever playoff run. If I remember correctly, it was only 2 rounds in 2008. So respect to everyone that was able to make the trip to LA and the supporters, numerous viewing parties back home. We all did the club proud. Thanks to Seeing Red for keeping us informed and connected. With much love to Joe, to his family. See you in 2025. I mean, yes, it was a special day. And there was on some social media platform, somebody made this statement, maybe the real cup is the friends we made along the way. And that is absolutely true. That is true. And being with 2,000 Red Bull fans in the California sun, marching in, being loud, singing the whole game. I mean, a phenomenal experience. Here's Corey Jameson, says, Mark and team, you can end the year with a trophy, and we sadly didn't again, but at least you can end it by passing out some thanks. First, thank you to the players for a hell of a run in the playoffs. It was a great ride to slay some playoff demons, both old and new, and we appreciate the run they went on. Can't thank them enough for a magical few weeks. Second, huge thanks to the Red Bulls front office. As fans, we fillet them time and again when they come up short, but the away tickets and support to get 2,500 people singing for the boys in red 2,500 miles away from home was unprecedented in MLS history. I honestly believe that Marc de Grand Pré, Sean Oliver, and the whole crew deserve their flowers for that away section. Literally brings tears from my eyes thinking about how special a moment that match was. Last but not least, thanks for another season of Seeing Red. It's an absolute gift to listen to the show every week and not want to take for granted. Thanks to you and all of your co-hosts for all of their effort, Corey Jameson. Very nice, very nice. Let's keep it rolling. Victor Kim, hey, Seeing Red fan, been a while since I wrote in. Well, what an inspiring run. Not only for all the obvious reasons, but inspiring that even after the final whistle, the players and the 2,200 strong did not stop believing in each other, ready to go another 90, another eternity. These past few weeks, I witnessed on the pitch and experienced in the stands a strong club and community, and for that, I'm forever grateful for this roller coaster of a season, whether it takes one more year or another 16. I know I'm amongst good company. Cheers, Victor. P.S. Let's not make it another 16. I will tell you, if it's 16 years, I will be more than 70 years old when the team makes another MLS Cup, and I do not want to wait that long either.
I'll be 57.
Oh, my Lord. That is far too long to wait. Nick Guarino says, hey, Mark, first of all, I want to say I love the show, and all of our hearts go out to Joe's family and loved ones. Yes, this season was a true surprise. Even the most optimistic Red Bull fans, no one really thought we'd survive the first round, let alone make this run. Everything seemed to click at the right time in the grand scheme of all the Red Bull seasons. Where do you rank this one in terms of success? In your opinion, how does it stack up against the Supporters' Shield winning seasons? While MLS Cup loss was no doubt a huge disappointment, I have to say this playoff run looks like it revitalized a tired fan base. I'm very much looking forward to what happens in the offseason and seeing what we can do. Thanks for the great content. Cheers for another season in the books. Gustavo, do you have any thoughts on where this season ranks for you?
I never gave it a thought, but I would say it ranks underneath. It ranks under the Supporter Shield seasons.
Yeah,
those teams were great. Those teams were good. You can't take it away from them. And this one, we have to remember, during the mid-season, it was a mediocre season at best. So I will not take it away from the Supporter Shield teams.
Yeah, I mean, the recency bias is a powerful drug, right? And we're all riding really high on this unexpected run. And that's I think, the biggest reason why fans would rank this season so high, because it was unexpected, right? Remember 6 weeks ago, nobody, and I mean nobody, was picking the Red Bulls to advance past Columbus, and they did something incredible, right? I mean, Columbus was lights out, one of the best teams in the league, playing the best, most attractive soccer with the best coach and Cucho Hernandez and Darlington Nagbe. And if it had not gone any further, that would have been enough. But no, going into Citi Field and really completely owning that stadium, getting the early goal, out singing the City supporters funneling out of Citi Field like water going down a drain at the end of the game. And then Orlando, where no pressure whatsoever on the Red Bulls to perform. They go and they get the early goal, and that was it. And not so early. They get the first goal, and that was it. But the point I'm making is this was such a wonderful surprise. And as we've said so many times during this postseason run, they had no expectation on them whatsoever. There was no notion that they should be here and they should win. And the weight that expectation carried on the Supporters Shield winning teams at the end of the day, and Kamar Lawrence injury led to their downfall. And so, yeah, this was super fun at the end, but I agree with Gustavo. Like, the middle of the season, it was just very hard to watch the team. But a playoff run unlike any other in club history, and I think it has to be noted. And the first Eastern Conference final. Last email of the show and of the year, Nicholas Partica, Mark and Company. I want to say thank you to all of you, but of course, especially Mark, for what you do. I found the podcast at the start of this season and watched every week. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Became very something I look forward to as part of the lead up to a Red Bulls match day. That is why we do this. This podcast has been wonderful in helping you feel. I write to you from the sunny climes of Albany, where I root for Red Bulls mostly by myself. This podcast has been wonderful in helping you feel connected to a larger fan base, and I look forward to attending my first game this coming season. Yes, please, please, please. I hope you have a wonderful season. That's Nick Partica. Listen, this is why we do this, for Red Bull fans to have something to connect them in between the games and hopefully enjoy and have a good time and maybe have a laugh or two. Gustavo, what are your plans for the holidays? Anything popping in your world?
Just the traditional stuff, getting together with my kids and spend the holidays with them. Nothing really special, just a lot of things to be thankful for. It's not Thanksgiving, It's Christmas and New Year's, but I have to be thankful for what I got, and got to thank the team too as well. The thing that makes it special is it's not the biggest fan base in the league, but it makes us feel like a family, and that's something that I really appreciate. Always good memories, and hopefully 2025 will be even better for all of us.
Yeah, that's such a wonderful holiday message. We're also just kind of staying local. 2 kids home from college, very much appreciated. We'll go see the tree. We'll sleep in and watch football. We'll do all the things you're supposed to do around the holidays. But it's a good obvious segue to talk about Joe once again. We love you, Joe, and we're thinking about you all the time. This has been a phenomenal year. It's our first year on YouTube, and I think by and large we've been a very, very successful first year launch. Our 15th season coming to an end. If you just found us this year, like Nick Partica or like Corey Jamison, who wrote in, you've been listening and perhaps watching since 2010. We really appreciate you. We do this for the fans, and we do this to build that Red Bulls community. And so I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Zach Feldman, who provided stats all year long to us. I want to thank you, Gustavo, and Mike Batista and Dan Rebane. I want to thank JJ Pavlik, a number of folks who have stepped in to co-host the show. We'll have an announcement early in the year about how we're going to deal with co-hosting as we go, because as we know, no one wants to see this face for radio exclusively, and it's good to have conversations. But thank you, Gustavo, for all that you've done for Seeing Red over the course of the year, and thank you for watching and listening. So for the last time in 2024, we have no prediction other than we hope that you and your family are able to spend quality time together, family and friends, over the holidays. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Seeing Red. We will be back for a 16th season in the new year. If news breaks, we'll break it here. If not, you can expect to hear from us again around the start of training camp. So from Mark Fishkin and a host of the entire Seeing Red family, thank you so much for watching episode 599 of this venerated media property. Let's go Red Bulls. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye-bye.